So we're going to go through a small talk about what we're going to be using. And since this is microfishing, we're going to be using really light, small gear, okay? So the reel, these are 500 series. 500 is the size. And we're going to be running about 4-pound test monofilament. It's going to have a little bit of stretch, which is going to help us for these smaller rivers and streams. That being said, one will be rigged up with a bobber and one will be rigged up with a spinner. So we have here just a very classic setup for each. We have a size 1 and a size 0 spinner. It's important to know those sizes because smaller fish typically are not going to want to just engage with really large lures. And if you're running a stream or a creek, smaller lures are easier to keep above the rocks and not get caught up in tangles so you don't snap them off. And of course the bobber we have here is a sliding float. We have a little stopper there, a bead and another stopper, and a 1/32 ounce jig. So very, very light, very small. Size 8 hook for reference in case we wanted to switch over to bait instead of using a plastic or artificial bait. And then we also have several different jig sizes here and the bobber stops themselves. So these are tube style jigs and these are round head. And between them, they're both 1/32 of an ounce. And then we have two different kinds of bobbers here just to give you an idea. This is the classic float, right? They're all sliding though. So if I was fishing a deeper pocket, I would switch bobbers to have more weight, and I would even use some split shots to add to make sure that my weight actually gets down there so you're fishing the proper area. The rods themselves, this one should be about 4.5 feet. This one is probably, for the bobber, 5.5 feet. So again, really light stuff. You don't need a whole lot of crazy tackle. And we'll try using some plastic baits as well as real bait and give you an idea of what we're going to be. To give you an idea what I mean by fake bait or artificial, we have some Gulp night crawlers, right? It's fake. These are not real. We'll cut them out in little chunks and put them on a float, see how they work. So if you're watching the main video, this is what we use. One of the things when using a really light bobber like this and microfishing, it's really important to not add too much stuff to your line, like a swivel, for example. So we're going to run the main line all the way through to the jig, okay? That's important because it allows this bobber to be a little more sensitive too, and it also keeps you from having to carry all sorts of excess gear you probably don't really need. So, and the same thing applies to the spinner. Larger ones you might be including a dual lock snap swivel or barrel swivel to help with line tangles, but really you shouldn't be casting all that far if you're microfishing in a river. Now if you're in a lake, that changes a little bit, but that'd be for a different time. So this is today's gear talk.